Hey guys, it's CCL Extra Time, episode 10, is it now?
Man, we've been killing it. Been
We're,
killing it for a while.
we're in the double digits now. It's big time. This is Ryan. We got our boy Maiwa on the call with us today, my co-host. How you doing, Maiwa?
I'm good. I think the haters didn't think that we'd make it to episode 10, but here we go. And we'll continue to bring information and highlights to our membership. So it's been fun, connecting to people during this time of COVID-19. We do wish that we were on the field, but we are happy that we're still able to connect vividly with our membership, offer updates, and still push the game in multiple ways. So when we are back on the field, let's see if we can even maintain doing this extra time stuff, because I think people really do enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of updates within the CCL, what do we got here, Maiwa? You got any news for us?
Yeah, we've continued to stay in contact with all our conferences, all our club memberships. So exciting things, on the horizon. We're still looking to get back on the fields. We've seen a lot of our member clubs return to training, so that's been good. We've been keeping up to speed and been tracking that on social media. So we got groups from New England, the Mid Atlantic, and then Georgia and Florida. We got all clubs, not all clubs, but an array of clubs back on the field. Some other updates is we're looking forward to Ice Soccer Path hosting their college educational event this coming Sunday. So that will be 4 o'clock. Make sure you register. The link below. I'm doing this hoping that we get a link here at the end of this recording, but Ice Soccer Path will host a college kind of seminar for those players who are interested in getting to the next level. This is a CCL exclusive, so just make sure you follow the link, register, and reserve your seat, reserve your spot to attend. I know they got a really good cast of and panel of coaches looking to share some insight, share some tricks, some special advice, and those type of details with the college bound athlete and family. So that's exciting. And then for the people who are interested, CCL will have a board meeting this coming Tuesday. So even through these unprecedented times, we have been able to harness all of our clubs together to continue to solve problems, continue to look forward, being proactive in the game, making sure that we are prepared for when we get back to play. We have all ducks in a row, and we're able to get back on the field the right way, the appropriate way, and definitely the safe way. So taking all of those appropriate protocols to make sure we can provide our membership with fantastic league games once again. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're definitely more than ready to have soccer back, get our membership back on the field. Speaking of, back on the field, Premier Leagues came back this week. It's been exciting. It's a little weird, I think, but it's better than not watching any soccer. But it's still some high quality soccer there. What do you think of the restart, as they say?
No, it's exciting. For me, I'm biased. I was able to watch the games, and then for sure Chelsea. I'm a massive Chelsea supporter, so we were able to pull off the result. Christian Pulisic coming in big, right off the bench, 5 minutes in, bagging a goal, doing what us Americans do. So always proud to support him overseas, and then another shout out to our executive director, Brian Cook. He called a thrashing from City, and that is what we got. So it's good to see the games. VAR back to making blunders. So we are back, and it's energetic. We're all dealing with the manufactured crowds, noise, and that environment. But a really cool piece is for the people who got to see themselves on TV, because they've been showing the supporters kind of in glimpses. So I saw a couple of my buddies and friends on who made the highlights, and then it's even cooler when you get back to Facebook and you see that they've now posted that footage. So might not be in England, but you're represented.
Yeah, I watched Manchester United today against Sheffield, and they have a bunch of their supporters' pictures in the stands. And I thought that was like a powerful gesture there of, football is, or soccer is, it's nothing without the fans, but they're trying to integrate as well as they can, the fans back into the sport. So it's a little weird, but the Premier League's back, and that's all we can ask for.
I think everybody's happy. Champions League, come on, we need you back as well. We got Spanish football back, so we were able to see some Barcelona, some Real Madrid. That's all good. But one thing is, don't forget the women's game.
Mhm.
And NWSL's ready to kick off. So that's some exciting stuff coming our way. Unfortunate of the Orlando City Pride situation that came up, so they had to withdraw themselves. But it shows that, and it's one of those things. Social media has been going a little crazy about it, but you got to be professional at all hours of the day, and it's not just on the field. So that's one negative that came about this, with one player not fully thinking, getting outside of their element, and then really affecting their entire team. And the best thing I saw on social media was, how do you just go to Marta and say, sorry, I wanted to go out and now you can't play in this tournament? From the player of the year multiple times. She's a competitor. From Ali Krieger, she's a competitor. Born and bred in Virginia, so we represent there as well. And then other players on that roster. But it's one of those situations where continue to make sure people are acknowledging that this is not a situation that should be taken lightly. I know the leagues will continue to do their due diligence to keep all players safe, but that's a key aspect of, they can only do so much because you are still a person, so you still have to make good decisions that don't affect everybody. So that's just word to the wise as we continue to navigate through these current times.
Yeah, it's definitely tricky situation, but hopefully we get through this better, more conscious. But we've got our guest on now. His name is Brian Wright. He is our AT kind of athletic trainer guru, as we say. He's there at all events, and he's going to come on now and see what we got some questions for him, and I think it's going to be good.
All right, guys. So we do have Brian Wright on with us. As Ryan explained, he's our athletic trainer, coordinator. He manages all the CCL events, and then a big time plus for managing our CCL United travel to Gothia Cup in Wildeburg. So Brian, I'll give the platform over to yourself. Tell the people a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with CCL.
Hey, so thanks for having me on, Milo and Ryan. It's good to see you guys. Like I said, my name is Brian Wright. I am an athletic trainer. I've been doing this for 10 years now or so, and I got involved with CCL a couple years ago, going over to Gothia Cup on the second time that we went over there, and just kind of been running with it since. Really cool, unique experience as an athlete and even as an athletic trainer to go overseas and work with the athletes and the soccer players overseas to see that. Currently, I'm at George Mason University, where I oversee the track and field team, and just recently announced that I'm switching over to women's soccer in the fall. So I get a little more soccer lifestyle going for me. So that's going to be good and exciting. And I'm thankful that CCL has been able to give me a little foot in the door with some soccer stuff. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, that's big time. Now, like we said, we've been on the field plenty of hours. A lot of our membership. The directors, the coaches, the players. It's always refreshing for them to come see you during a college showcase right after, a trip to Gothia Cup. So those relationships go from not just on the field personnel, but even to our athletic training and our support system. So, that speaks volume of what we've been able to create through CCL and having people who really buy into the programming, of what we're able to do. So, just diving straight into it, my first question, for you is going to be, during these times, players aren't playing matches, but they definitely need to stay fit. They need to stay healthy. What type of advice would you give to them on something they should be looking to do, daily, weekly, monthly, so that when they do get back on the field, do get back into games, they're fully up to speed still?
That's a great question. So I know in Virginia, as we're opening back up into the different phases, we're starting to get back into some soccer, able to play some practices and stuff. Biggest thing I can tell you is you're getting into those phases in your different states and things that we're branching out into would be stay fit, right? Your fitness is going to be the biggest thing. Go out for that run, that jog, work on some skills on your own that you can do, some juggling, some stuff like that. Big thing you can use, great resource. FIFA put out the FIFA 11. It's been out for a while. Do that. It takes about 20 minutes. They recommend doing it 3 to 4 times a week. Do it every day. It's a series of warm-ups that if you're not using as your team's warm-up, highly encourage you to do that. Research shows the plus side of it, of doing that, taking that 20 minutes is going to be great. But as an athlete, look it up. It's out there. Do that every day. And it's just a series of lateral movements, forward movements, some plyometric stuff, getting some jumps and some dribbles and touches in. And maintaining your fitness is the biggest thing you can do right now. Because as you start getting back into that stuff, if you've sat inside in the air condition playing Fortnite or whatever we're playing these days, whatever the new video game is, then you're going to be behind the ball when you start trying to get moving again at that high level competitive motion.
No, that's perfect advice. And it's realistic. Right now is the time where players have to develop themselves, have to stay engaged to the game, have to invest in themselves to say, I want to get better. I want to stay fit. So no, it's a really good advice. Are there any maybe products that you would recommend they use? I know, there's bands, there's weights, there's everything. What, during these times, are there any really suggested, materials that you'd say, if you have the resources to utilize those outside of just running and touching on the soccer ball?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, bodyweight stuff at the age that most of our athletes are in, bodyweight stuff's gonna be just a great option. A pull-up bar would be a great thing. Get some pull-ups in, get some push-ups in, bodyweight squats. Back in college when I was wrestling in college, we did a 1, 2, 3, 4 as one of our hard main workouts, and ended up being a warm-up for a while. But you had to do 100 push-ups, 200 sit-ups, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and 400 sit-ups. Right, and you just had to go through it and do it in an order. And you had to get all your ones done before your twos, before your threes, before your fours. And that's try to do it under 30 minutes. And that's a great way to just kind of get every aspect of your body in without doing anything crazy. Something I've enjoyed though recently is working like with an endo board or something like that, just working on some dynamic balance and rolling back and forth. It's a good surfing tool. Growing up at the beach, growing up surfing, that was something that I've enjoyed, and it's been fun to get back on that and work on balance. Just change it up, change the direction, low impact, things like that. But nothing particularly jumps out that you're like, you got to have this in order to become a better soccer player. Fundamentals, keep it simple. The basics. Think Rocky in Siberia. When he goes out and starts lifting boulders and doing stuff, anything that's going to keep you active and moving. It's cheap and easy. Right? We spend so much money playing soccer and tournament stuff. There's no need to go out and buy like crazy apparatuses and devices.
No, that's good information, and it's that 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa, let me see if I can fit that in my life.
It's tough, man, but you'll feel the next couple of days. The more you do it, you'll start seeing you getting a little stronger. If you're having trouble with the pull-ups, you do one pull-up at a time, jump up, jump down every time, jump and pull it up. Or if you have a resistance band, you can loop it around the pull or the pull-up bar, put your foot in it and help assist yourself up and down. Or socially acceptable with like a family member or something like that, you can have them help hold your legs. But pull-ups are a very underrated exercises that we can use even in soccer. When we think soccer, we think lower body and the stuff, but that translates through your core, through your abs, through all your hips and stuff. Like everything attaches there. So that's a great exercise to have. And then, your squats, a couple hundred body weight squats, getting your knees to 90 or all the way down. Those are going to be some really good things that cost nothing, let you get stronger, helps you out, and hopefully prevent some injuries.
Yeah, I always think jail workouts when people in jail are always fit and they don't, use any equipment. They know, they're doing push-ups, pull-ups, all that. But health-wise, what can you
I
do?
would have never thought that you would use jail as an example, but I love it. Well done.
The old prison
We'll talk
workout.
afterwards about that. But Brian, what do you have like health-wise you could do to keep healthy during these times?
Get your sleep. That's the biggest thing. Sleep is an overrated or underrated, health benefit, right? Especially for these kids. Like, I got nothing to do tomorrow. I'm going to stay up till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, playing video games, eating junk food, which, hey, there's always a time for that. Moderation is key. Don't get me wrong. I've stayed up late some nights. I don't play many video games, so I can't say that aspect, but getting your sleep, getting into a regular rhythm and routine. Our bodies crave rhythm and routine. So eating a little more healthy, adding a couple extra servings of veggies on your plates. It took me years to become less of a picky eater, so I respect that. But when we've gone overseas, you've got to eat a little bit outside of your comfort zone. That really has helped me branch out. But getting the sleep, getting the rest, getting up and staying structured with your things is going to be huge. And honestly, staying healthy. If you're feeling sick, especially during this time, if you're feeling sick, feeling under the weather, stay home, stay away from everybody else. Those are the big things. But even as we get back into playing sports, playing soccer, getting back into school, your sleep is going to be a big thing. We need at least 8 hours of sleep. Growing boys and girls, you could probably use another 10 hours or so. So that's going to be a big thing that's often overlooked sometimes in the recovery process and the training process. Good sleep.
Yeah, so I know as you bring up picky eaters, Kevin Cash, one of the pickiest eaters, so he struggled when we were over there.
Oh, did he? Oh, man.
But one thing I'd want to bring up, and I'm putting you on the spot here. So definitely the rest, the recovery, the sleeping aspect of it. But another thing that's really overlooked during these times is the amount of liquids, the amount of hydration. What's the recommendation that these guys should be looking into when it comes to just water intake per day?
That's an interesting question. It's not going to be, the old adage was you need 8-ounce glasses of water all day, every day. And that's really going to be kind of dependent on each individual person, right? Bigger people are going to need some more water, especially now it's hot in the summertime. You get in motion, getting moving. Water's great. Love water. You can't ever really go wrong with water. As we get back into exercise and getting outside, it's hot. It was like almost 100 degrees outside in the last couple of days here. And you need to be able to replace what you're losing. Easy rule of thumb is when you go to the bathroom, look at your urine when it comes out. If it's clear or it looks like a light lemonade, you're doing great. If you're thirsty and that's coming out and looking like some tea, and you're not doing so good, we need a lot more fluids and stuff in us. So that's an easy way. But drinking to thirst is a good effort. If you're doing practice, I know for us with our athletes, they have to weigh in and weigh out and between workouts and stuff. And if they are not within, like, if they're at more than a 3% loss of body weight from the morning session to the afternoon session, they have to sit out that afternoon session and work back into the hydration. So it's going to vary. It's a long answer for a simple question. It's going to vary in terms of each athlete, but the easy barometer is going to look at your urine. You want to be clear to like a light lemonade color. If you're into apple juice looking stuff, you're in trouble. You need to be doing a little more of that.
No, I think that's good because we always hear those statements. We always hear those. You're supposed to have 8-7 glasses a day, and so just making sure people understand. Hydration's key, especially once you're getting back into it. But just understanding the intricacies of it. So I think that's a good piece to let the people know. So just. Another question, going into CCL events that you've been able to attend and work, from an athletic trainer's perspective. Well, what do you really think about how we put on our CCL event? What has really been an eye opener for you, or eye popping for you?
Man, I've covered events from little rinky-dink wrestling tournaments to some national coverage events, and the CCL events are second to none, to be honest. And that's not even a biased statement, being my affiliation with you guys, but even the other athletic trainers that work for us and with us, CCL's done a great job taking care of the people, taking care of the athletes. So they make sure that we've got, food and water, we get some breaks, and we've got the supplies and the things that we need to help maintain a safe playing environment. So having that extra expenditures of golf carts and getting ice for us, those are some things that a lot of other events overlook, that we need to be able to get athletes off the field or back onto the field, or get them to a car to go get an x-ray to do this thing. And so the golf carts are huge at most of our events, and getting ice, that's a big thing for us, especially in these hot summer suns, the summer stuff, with, the possible need to have to rapidly cool somebody down for a heat stroke or heat illnesses before we transport them. So, they just CCL does a great job of putting on events and taking care of not only us, but the coaches and the referees. It's just a great organization to work for, and it's kept me coming back to the events over the years, and talking to some other athletic trainers, done that for them too.
Good. And I know one thing that you guys do extremely well, and I think we're super fortunate about, is, all the athletic trainers, you guys do get there early, able to wrap kids up, prior to games. And that's even for that 8:00 kickoff. You guys are there well before 7. So if anybody does need to get taped, if anybody does need wrapping, they're able to come see you. And then just the protocols that you guys have been able to put in play, which I know you've done a fantastic job, working through concussion protocols, working through, making sure if there are those serious injuries, even staying in touch with the people after they leave the fields, personal phone calls to a kid who might have gotten injured at a game, had to leave early, calling the family at the end of the night just to touch base, just to check in. So, massive kudos to what you've been able to provide to the CCL, because that is what makes our event, spectacular, knowing that we have athletic trainers up and down all of our facilities, credible people, relatable people who don't just think of it as a job, but are truly invested in the growth of the game and the growth of the players and the management of the players. So, that's always a good thing to see.
No, thank you. Appreciate that. And it's easy to want to do that stuff when CCL, again, takes such good care of us. It makes us buy into what the league is putting on and the excitement behind the league. So it's always nice to, like, coming back from some of these trips, I see kids and parents that are like, hey, you guys did this, or you were there, or you were this. And it's nice to have this same familiar faces where parents feel a little more comfortable knowing that the league is still invested in taking care of all these other little things that sometimes are often overlooked.
So going overseas, what has been the most, the notable thing that you've enjoyed so far in your trips overseas with CCL?
Oh man, the most enjoyed thing, there's so many different things that I've taken back from our overseas trips. I mean, there's so many different moving pieces. This would have been my 4th summer going over. So we'll see how that's going to pan out. But in the last 3 summers, just getting to know all the different programs associated with CCL, all of our different member clubs, and doing that stuff, getting to know the different athletes, that's different age groups between the 15s and the 16s and the 17s and the 18s that we've taken, and playing in the different leagues, watching those athletes, watching those soccer players and young football stars interact with their comrades and colleagues across the world has just been really fascinating. Kind of step back and be that overseeing, like, oh, look at those guys hanging out with those kids, or look at them interacting with them, and just seeing all of the interactions they have with all the different cultures and different things from across the seas. I really enjoy our quasi, lifestyle competing or playing with FCN and Northland, right? we stay at that stadium. That stadium is awesome and fun. And the Right to Dream whole lineup that stadium has done with working with the African clubs to build that up, and then seeing our staff interact with their staff. So there's just so many different points from that aspect that has been really cool. And then for me, on a very nerdy level, getting to interact with the physios from the European clubs and teams and talking shop with them and seeing how they're doing stuff and how we do stuff and those notes. There's just so much that I could obviously go on about for the international travel and what we've done as a league, but it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of work for future athletic trainers out there that want to go overseas. It's a lot of work, but you can also make sure we still have some fun doing it.
So I've got to ask, because we don't see it a lot over here, but over there we see the spray.
Yeah.
Debunk that, because I've heard some things about it. Does it actually work? What is it actually?
Well, loaded question. So does it actually work? Depends on what you're trying to use it for. A lot of times we use it here in the States before injections, right? Because it's just going to numb the skin. It's very short lasting. It's maybe 30 seconds worth of like, ooh, this feels good. Some of it is the theory is how on some pain works. It's a gate control theory. We can only feel one sensation at a time. You automatically instinctively do this yourself when you run into something, and the first thing you do is you like grab your arm, like, oh man, you start rubbing it, right? Well, you're not feeling that pain anymore. You're feeling that rubbing sensation. So it's kind of the same principle there. Is they're just trying to distract your nerves from feeling the pain by feeling the cold, and it allows them to get moving again. Is it actually doing anything? Not more than, again, that 30 seconds of anything, but it's enough of distraction to get you moving again, right? We seen Major Pain. Everybody's seen Major Pain, and
Yeah.
he's like, oh, my leg, I got shot in the leg, my leg hurts. And then Major Pain breaks his pinky, spoiler alert, breaks his pinky, right? And goes, my pinky. Goes, well, your leg don't hurt no more, right? It's kind of the same concept there, that we're just distracting you and turning your attention, and then it allows you to take a minute, get a breather, and then move on again.
Look at that. If there's anything I've learned from Brian, he can quote any movie, and he knows so many scenes from all these movies. That is hilarious. No, but sticking on that path, I think we're extremely fortunate to be able to take a full-time staff of athletic trainers to our international travel. I know when it first started, it probably wasn't a thought process, but it's invaluable, making sure that we have that dedicated staff. When you were there, you were able to give players stretching activities before games, after games. There was a recovery session at the end of every day. So, those pieces that I was able to see from you and the staff last summer were first class. It allowed our players to go through that entire trip with very minimal injuries. And you did a fantastic job even keeping a report of all of the injuries. So, we had details to every single component, every single piece as well. A note of trivia, Bobby O'Brien, we will give him a shout out, but he gave Brian Wright his first soccer coaching experience overseas. Give us a little rundown of that experience.
Oh man, I will not forget that. And Bobby, I'm gonna blow you up here, man. Much love, brother. I've got nothing but love for you, but quite an experience. Bobby, Coach Brian, he'd gone to scout another team. I was with the boys, and it was me. It was Bobby and then me. There was no assistant coach for that year with our age group, and I got the guys to the field early. We're warming up, getting everybody's taped, ready to roll. And I get these frantic text messages and phone calls from Bobby. Dude, where are you? Where are you? I can't find the field. I can't find the field. And I'm just like, well, I see this big radio tower right here. And so Bobby starts heading towards it, right? Well, apparently there's a couple of those in that area. And Bobby went that way, and he should have gone this way. And so he was a little late. So I had to shout out to Kelly Gobble as well. She was there and was able to help me fill out the pre-match paperwork. I'm not a soccer coach. I wrestled in college. So I'm like, I really don't know what to do. And so I had to coach a team up. And I'm sure some of these boys will watch this and start laughing because they come in and Bobby gave me the instructions, via text. And I was like, same lineup as last game, starting 11. We're going to go in, try to dump the ball in, just kind of like chase and pass, get after it. And so I called the boys and I'm like, all right, guys, Coach O'Brien's running a little late. He'll be here in a few minutes. This is our game plan. We're going to shake hands off the whistle. We're going to go out. We're going to hit him with a blast double, put him on his back, looking for – and they look at me like, oh, wait, sorry, wrong sport. Here we go. So gave them their exercise. And I think that helped. I think somebody chime in here, one of you guys from my first year and tell me if that helped calm the nerves that because Coach O'Brien wasn't there. But, let me know that helped you out or not. And we get out there. We were actually winning until Bobby showed up. And then all of a sudden he showed up and we ended up, I think, losing. I believe we lost that match. Like we were up 1-0. I think we lost like 2-1 or 3-1. I'm sure Bobby will give me a text here when he watches this and be like, that's totally inaccurate. We definitely won that, but fairly certain so that was my international coaching debut. Got a national cap on that. But it was fun. Definitely didn't have a whole lot of idea what's going on, but it was pretty funny. And so I like to give that little nugget that I have some international coaching experience.
Look at that. Before it was domestic, he was international. Only so many.
Got to start someplace.
That's fantastic.
So Brian, you have a last question here. How did you get into AT? And do you have any advice for these, upperclassmen in high school that may be interested in being an athletic trainer?
Yes. I got into it because my junior or senior year high school, I had twisted my ankle pretty good in a wrestling match, and I had an athletic trainer in my high school, and she helped me out a lot. Like she's helped me get some stuff going and get navigating it, and I saw the benefit of what that service was provided, and that's back. I'm old enough now that concussion stuff was just kind of coming out. It wasn't a big deal. And knowing that some of the research out there now, like the navigating all that stuff, some of these injuries, youth athletics is huge in this country and huge worldwide, and we're seeing more and more injuries. So it was something that I got interested in early on, and then went through college. I'll tell you, being a college athlete and Division I wrestler, and then being an athletic training major, not easy, not the path I would recommend to anybody. But they've changed it now that you have to get a master's degree to become an athletic trainer. So go to it's nothing but great to have former athletes as athletic trainers, because you understand the psychology of, I want to play, I want to do this. And then you see this side where, well, we know you want to do that, but we got to back things down. So I got injured, and I feel like that's how a lot of athletic trainers get into it. I got injured, got rehab, and worked with my athletic trainer, and that just spurned a lifelong knowledge of athletics and medicine, and working really well with that. So we can definitely always use more athletic trainers that are former athletes, and it's a way for you to stay involved in the games or the sports that you enjoy. And it takes you everywhere. I've been overseas now with athletics, and been able to do some cool things and have some really cool experiences and make some great lifelong friends now. And I can't be honest that I ever saw myself being here, but I'm thankful that this is where I am, and that athletic training is a big part of that.
So Brian, we want to thank you for coming on the show. I think it's been pretty informative what you've said, especially on what athletes should be doing right now. We want to thank you.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on, guys. It's always good to see you guys and see how everything's going. And I can't wait to get back to some CCL events and get soccer going again, get any sport going again. It's definitely been a very weird time for me, as when my life is sports and there's been no sports for the longest time. That I'm excited to get back out there and watch some soccer.
No, yeah, and I'll just reiterate, definitely appreciate you joining us. Tons of insight from you, and I think even with that last portion, it's always a random opportunity that can develop your lifelong kind of stance. So an injury has turned you into, an athletic trainer, but not just an athletic trainer, but somebody who's invested in really impacting youth athletes in general, so it's a service, it's a duty, and a lot of the times it's not a job. So, I know we talk about stuff like this. We're fortunate and extremely privileged to be able to be in these type of industries because our impact and for somebody like yourself, you go abroad, you run our domestic events, and hundreds of CCL players and families recognize you, and you're not their coach, you're not a referee, you're truly an athletic trainer who is back there to make sure that they're fully functional, they're fully recovered and able to do what they love to do. So your roles on the soccer field are massively appreciated from us here at the CCL. And we can't wait to get you back on the soccer field as well, because that means we're all back to good life, back to normality. So
back to the normal, back to sports, back to soccer, and it's great. So no, I appreciate that, and I've told people from day one, CCL is definitely a family. So it's fun for me when I get to see those athletes come back and the parents come up and they stop by and want to take pictures, because we are always in the background, like, oh, Brian's, what tennis he at? Go see him there. Like, those are the fun moments, and that's what keeps you bringing back and makes you realize that you are making an impact. And I'm forever thankful for that. And from there,
no, that's perfect, and I don't think this relationship will end. So, as soon as we know when we're back on the field and our events are currently scheduled, and hopefully we get to run as soon as our September Adidas Fall Festival. So, once again, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the day. Continue to stay safe, stay healthy, and we look to connecting with you here soon.
all right, sounds good, guys. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it, Brian. Take care, brother.
So that was a great guest. Brian came in with the knowledge and the facts. How'd you feel about it?
No, he came through and he had a lot of information to be able to provide to our membership and our viewers. And I think he spoke on some very good values where we've created a family within the CCL, and so that's one thing that we've always wanted to do in this soccer world. Competition is great. We know how to compete like the best of them when we're on the field, but off the field, it's collaboration, it's working together, and it's making sure everybody is involved for the overall goal, which is continue to develop the best soccer players in this country to propel them to the next levels. So, a key aspect of that is taking care of your body, maintaining your body, recovery to your body after injuries. And I can say we have a fantastic, athletic training department for all of our events, for all of our match days, which is mandatory. So, our membership sees athletic trainers at every match, and that standard will continue to happen because we understand the importance of that side of the game. So no, another fantastic episode. We get to continue to do this, and we just want to continue to wish all of our memberships the best, continue to stay healthy, stay safe. As we stated in the beginning of the episode, do not think just because we're slowly opening back up that this COVID-19 situation is just gone. We are still thoroughly in it, and we just need to make sure everybody is taking the precautions as being as conscious to the situation as possible. So no, Ryan, appreciate it. Another episode done, some more history made, and hopefully we get some more fantastic, games on this weekend that we're able to watch. And, NWSL starts their event. So people tune into that, support the women's game here in the country. And we'll move forward and continue plugging away. And hopefully we're on a field soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Thanks, Milo. Thanks, guys. Everybody stay safe.
Perfect.